Welcome to Finance This, Property That. My name's Dion Fernandez, and this podcast is for property enthusiasts, time-poor professionals, self-employed borrowers, and strategic investors looking for residential or commercial property who want more than just a low interest rate. They want a strategy and a team around them. Each week, I'll share strategies, structures, and lending moves that actually grow wealth, not just get you the loan. And also, I will help you surround yourself with information from professionals in their field. If you're here to build smart, not slow, you're in the right place. My vision is to empower financial legacies for generations. I am a mortgage planner and finance strategist, and I work with doctors, developers, business owners, and high-income earners to build serious property portfolios. So without further ado, let's get into today's episode. Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Finance This, Property That. Little bit of a different tack today. Today, we've got a very special guest, Sam Panetta from The Broker Coach. He's my coach for my business, and I thought I'd get him on here to share a little bit of wisdom because he's also been on both sides of the fence. So without further ado, welcome, Sam.
Thank you, mate. Glad to be here.
That's good just before our long lunch.
Long lunch.
We'd warm up the vocal cords.
Legends long lunch.
Mate, today, really want to talk to you around about a couple of things. The broking landscape is changing. Well, actually, the landscape of mortgages is changing.
Yes.
The property market is just moving at such a rapid pace, and people have so much choice out there, but are they making the right choice for what they're doing? So I really want to talk to you about niches, strategies, and why not all brokers are built the same. Mm-hmm. Cool. We're going to cover off why the differences between a generalist versus a specialist, and then get some words of wisdom for you for all the people out there that don't understand the difference between the two, and understanding what they're aligning this key part of their finance journey or their property journey to their goals and what they want to achieve. Mm-hmm. Sound good?
I'm in, mate. I'm all in.
All right. But before we go ahead, let's get a little bit more about you and what your background is, and a little bit about your family, because I know you're all the way from Sydney. And
I'm all the way from Sydney. I'm enjoying this sunshine state weather, I can tell you.
It's going to be 30 degrees later on today.
30 degrees. I'm swapping the pants for shorts when we go out for lunch.
I forgot the shorts. My shorts are packed in my suitcase for when we leave on Sunday. So I don't have that luxury.
You could borrow some of my shorts, Dion.
No, man, I'm good. I'm good. I'll just put the coconut margaritas down here, one on each hand, put it on each leg, pull me down.
That's it. Yeah. That's it.
So, mate, what I guess Broker Coach,
yes.
How did that even come about?
Oh, man. I never saw myself as a business coach, Dion. I thought business coaches were a little bit weird, to be fair.
They are, man. There are so many of them out there. And there's just, we're talking about generalists versus specialists.
Yes.
I don't reckon it's so general.
It's so general. And I'm a big believer in niching down and being a specialist in one thing. I think it's almost impossible to be the best at everything, but it is possible to be number one at one particular thing, I feel.
Yeah.
And I think that's in any business, especially for mortgage brokers, you know?
Yeah. So where you were a mortgage broker as well, for a mortgage broker, business owner. What other hats did you wear?
I was a spray painter, mate. So I don't know if anyone could tell, but I was a cheeky little kid. And so I left.
It's hidden under the beard.
It's hidden under the beard. All the cheekiness has been put away. But I left school when I was 15. I got into the smash repair industry. I worked in the smash repair industry for 10 years. I busted my ass, and I probably went too hard, too young, and ended up hurting my back. Went back to school, went to TAFE, got my Year 10 certificate, ended up getting into the mortgage industry with Yellow Brick Road, and I had a cracking start. I had a really good start. I was lucky that the guys who were my bosses, they were gun brokers, and they gave me heaps of opportunity, and I took it with both hands. And it was a really good entry into the industry, especially for someone who was a tradesman, someone who was a spray painter coming in green, right? Done that for a couple of years as a broker. Loved it. I remember the day I found out about Trail, I almost fell off my chair. I was like, what do you mean we get paid an upfront commission and then we get paid an ongoing commission? Like, I was just like, this is the best business model that's ever existed. And done that for a couple of years. Then I launched the Aureus business, which was essentially a diversified financial services group, right? So we had mortgage broking, financial advice, chartered accounting, business coaching, outsourcing in the Philippines, and we had a little bit of a property investment arm as well, right? So built that over 7 years, started, scaled, sold, and then I took 6 months off, and a lot of people that I know, like, and trust from the broker community that were friends of mine were encouraging me to coach brokers. But I didn't see myself as a coach, Dion. I didn't see myself as a coach, and I still don't. Like, to me, in my heart of hearts, I'm a finance guy. And I think I'll always be a finance guy. So because I had sold the business that had a business coaching element to it, I actually had a non-compete in place not to do business coaching. And my wife was really encouraging me, friends and family were really encouraging me to get into it. They said, you got knowledge and the right character for it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so I called my old business partner and I basically said to him, look, mate, how would you feel if I started a business coaching firm just coaching mortgage brokers? I don't want to work with anyone else. I just want to work with brokers. And the phone went silent. I thought he was going to rip my face off. And he's like, mate, if you do it, I reckon you'd be the best at it. He goes, let's amend the agreement so you can go out and you can coach brokers. And it was like, bloody hell, like the universe was aligning. We changed the agreement. Kudos to him. Didn't have to do it. Like, hats off to him for being a great bloke and allowing me to pursue what I'm pursuing now. And that's it. That's how it started. It just hit the ground running, and it's been fast paced ever since.
Yeah, I mean, that just that tells me a couple of things. It tells me that your hard work does pay off. I know in the industry as a broker, you've got to work bloody hard for every little thing that you can do. Every dollar that you earn, it's hard work because it's never guaranteed. But also, it tells me that along the way you've built a lot of solid relationships, and exiting a business is always tough.
Mate.
And you were torn. There was a little bit of a Band-Aid that you had to rip off going, I'd be good at this, but I need someone's permission. But that relationship that you had with him must have been so solid, and he knew you'd do the right thing. But he also saw the potential. And if you reverse that into what you do, is you see the potential in others that others don't actually see. And now that's your way of giving back to the community that gave to you the opportunities. I mean, that's how I see it. Like, that's getting very sentimental. It's probably not what this podcast is about. But I just think, there's a lot of coaches, and there are some very good coaches
100%.
out there. And I think finding a coach is tough because you've got to find a coach that, one, understands it at a very high level, but not just at base level, but 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 steps ahead,
yes.
Knows what's coming, been through what's coming, and understands the pain that we actually go through day in, day out. But also someone that you can just have a laugh with, go have some cheeky espresso martinis.
What are we having today? What's the...
Apparently it's coconut margarita.
Coconut, that's the one. Brad, if you're listening, mate, we're ready for these coconut margs, mate.
Oh, man, I don't know. A bit dubious, but we'll see. He rates them. He's got pretty good taste, I guess. So.
He's a good fella.
He's
a good fella.
But I think then what you created, and I think unexpectedly what you've created, is this massive community and this massive knowledge base of people at different levels coming into the industry where, you touched base and talked about when you entered in with a group that was already experienced and they already had the go. So you were surrounded yourself with energy. You see a lot of these new guys come into the group and they're just by themselves. They're alone. They don't have that group. I'm very fortunate to be with Emerge Finance. We've got a good group of people. We have an office and there's good energy there. But, for someone like, I'm going to name some names, like Kamei, great energy solo, but, he's by himself. But I think the group gives him that energy to go out there and perform and And mate, that's kudos to you because that's something you've created.
Oh, man. I appreciate that so much. It is, without a doubt, the thing I'm most proud of with the broker coach business is the community of brokers that we got. They're all good people.
No dickheads.
No dickheads. And I gatekeep, do you know what I mean? Like I basically, for every 3 discovery calls I have, I'll sign one broker. Do you know what I mean? Because I want to keep the community tight-knit. I want everyone to want to be there, to want to help each other out, and everyone gets along. Like, how many times we've had these Legends Long lunches and all the other social events that we do, and no one's met each other in real life. And look, you had the other day, Nathan up from New Zealand.
Yep.
No one had met in person before, and everyone gets along like old friends. Do you know what I mean? And
you can't tell someone's personality from a WhatsApp conversation because there's no emotion in a WhatsApp conversation. We're just answering bloody questions with emojis. And we're like, oh, what does that mean? And you're like, but like when you actually meet people in real life, it's like, like Aaron.
He's the best. Like, Aaron's a gun.
Like, him and I have just, we're on that boat. Remember that boat we went on with old Jack Henderson? And we're sitting there going, mate, it's as if we've known each other forever.
Yeah.
That's the community you've created.
So, mate, thank you so much. I'm so awesome. Proud of it. So proud.
The one thing the message, and I think the key message, there's a few messages, but I think your key message to every broker in that community is, what's your niche? And I want to go through that because it's really important, because I think there are a lot of brokers out. There's a lot of brokers. I mean, how many brokers are
22,000 circa.
There's 22,000. Out of those 22,000, how many are general brokers that just do the basic stuff, that don't actually know what their value is because they don't understand how to do it, because they'll just take any deal on. When a client is wanting to build something greater, so let's say build long-term wealth and a financial legacy that lasts generations, right? Why are you passing on the message that you should be niching down?
You've got to have a niche. It's the cornerstone of everything, right? And the reason that you have to have a niche is because you can't be, not you, anyone can't be the best at all things. It's just not how life works, right? But you do stand a half a chance to be the best at one thing, right? So I like to pick a corner of the marketplace and dominate it. Let's talk logistically why niching is important. If we look at a mortgage business, we've got marketing, selling, and delivering, right? They're the 3 revenue-producing activities that move the needle in a mortgage broking business. Now, everyone niches at the start for marketing, because when you talk to everyone, you talk to no one, right? But when your message is succinct and it's for a particular person, you can really hone in on it. It resonates with people. We can get cut through with ads or content or anything, right? It doesn't matter. So at the start, it's for marketing. Once you nail the marketing, if we get it right, it means we produce a lot of volume of business, right? So the entire aim of it is to produce a lot of volume of business. When you are doing the same deal type and you're dealing with the same client type over and over again, your ability to get the options and the strategies to the client in a refined, fast manner improves dramatically when it's the same over and over again, right? If you're trying to do, 20 different deals every single month, or 20 of the very similar deals every single month, you're going to be much more efficient at doing those same 20 deals rather than 20 different deals every single month. So selling becomes the next factor that benefits from having a niche, right? And then the third thing is the actual delivering on the promise to the client. When we can build our team, when we can build our systems, when we can build our processes around serving a similar client type and a similar deal type over and over again, we can deal with the high levels of volume that we're going to get from the marketing, from picking a niche in the first place. So at the start, it's for marketing, and then at the end, it's for efficiency.
And I would then circle all that, saying, and it's all to do with giving the customer a 5-star experience every time.
Yeah, 100%.
If you encapsulate all that, that's the reason why you should do it.
100%.
So I guess that answers that question around why the niching. But from a customer's point of view, they're like loving it. They'll be like, oh, well, I already know I'm with the right person. Because, the one thing I do get from a lot of clients going, I mean, I was just talking to you about this in the car, but I haven't met half, like last night I was at a dinner with a thank you dinner. And, you know, this sometimes is a very thankless job. It is. I don't do it for the thanks. I do it because I love it and I love helping people, love helping the solution and making the hard things easy. But, you know, we were at a thank you dinner and no less than 3 people at that dinner going, I wish I'd met you 2 months ago.
So good.
Because I think you should have done this rather than the person who did it, because I just don't think they understood the situation. We even had an email from a client yesterday who another broker gave him a proposal. I'm like, mate, that's not even what you asked for. He goes, I know. I go, how are you meant to do what you want to do with $25,000 credit? And he goes, I know. I'm like, this is why I don't want to use this person. And I go, okay, no, all good, man. We've got it sorted. We'll have something for you by tomorrow because I already know where it's going to go. I already know what it's going to do. Craig's already done the research before you even asked him. I already know.
Yeah.
And it's going to blow this thing out the water. And he's like, oh, thank you. I really don't want to go with this person. And, you know, my business partner's forcing me to go with him because it's his cousin. And I'm like, hey, this is business. You go with the thing that gives you the best outcome. So I think, you know, just giving him that confidence. And then he actually said verbatim, I have never had a customer experience with any broker or bank like I've had with you guys. And I go, mate, I just did what I'd want someone else to do for me. And he goes, but that's why it's good. So, you know, you don't really get a lot of thanks. And that was a really good thanks. But you know, that just reinforced to me why my niche is important to me. And I'm not going to be everything to everyone, right?
Well, especially the sort of stuff that you're doing, mate. It's got a level of complexity to it, right? And it's a certain segment of the market, and you can participate and lead that segment of the market. Do you know what I mean? It would be almost impossible for other brokers to come in and compete with you in the thing that you're the best at. And you'd probably have a hard time going and trying to compete with someone else in something that their niche is. Do you know what I'm saying? Where for the stuff that you're doing, mate, and we spoke about this when you first came on. I was like, let's lean into this, let's lean into this, let's lean into this. And when you're attracting those clients and you're delivering that 5-star experience for those clients hang out with other people like them. Look at the dinner you were at last night. Like that is a perfect example of you doing these property development deals, right? You're funding them and you're at a table with a whole bunch of property developers. One of them was your client, and then the others the ones are going to be client. You see what I mean? There's this knock-on effect of getting really good at one thing and then dealing with lots of people that also participate in that one thing.
Yeah. And the client, like, they would benefit from that because that's like their problems are all pretty much the same thing, but the solutions are very different. The outcome and the solutions are fairly similar, but the outcomes that they're getting are going to be very different because they're either going to get the best outcome or the worst outcome or no outcome. And we want to deliver the best outcomes, but I always say to Craig and even Sahil, mate, we deliver the news the way it's meant to be delivered. Like if we can do something, we do something. If we can't, we tell them up front and tell them the reasons why and give them a solution. There may not always be a solution, but
there might not always be an immediate solution.
Yeah, there's a plan.
Yes.
We still give them that 5-star. We still give them the same respect because I always say, I go, I don't care if you earn $1 million a year. I don't care if you're lending $1 million, 10 million, 500,000. The process doesn't change. I don't treat you any differently. I treat you the same way. I give you the same experience. You know, I don't woo someone that's, I don't play to the, hey, I earn 500,000, I earn $1 million, I want to do a $10 million deal. Oh, okay, great. Process is the same. I think what you were saying about the systems and process when you niche, if the system and processes break, or you change it to suit someone, like suit the one out of 100, it breaks. And you'll actually lose the 5-star experience. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, 100%, because you're going to muddle your way through it. Do you know what I mean? One of the guys said to me the other day, and it was perfect, right? Clement down in Melbourne, does deals with first home buyers down in Melbourne. And he's like, man, anytime I get one of these first home buyers in Melbourne, I crush these deals. And anytime I get something that's not that, it's just does my head in. I can't get through it. And it's just like it's perfect, right? It's a perfect example of being great at one thing.
Yeah. And that first home buyer market is competitive. Very, very competitive. We've actually got a few in our group that do first home buyers. And I don't know, like had a conversation with Luke and he goes, oh, how do I make this more than a first home buyer? I'm like, Sam. But I said, wouldn't you still be your first home buyer guy? But what do you think naturally you're going to need to train yourself on next? So, well, how do I get them into their first investment property? What do I talk about? How do you build their team? So yeah, it's a bit of a learning for everyone. It's like there's only so many first home buyers that are going to be, but I reckon that market's going to be, 1st of October. Holy crap,
It's going to be
Queensland.
fire.
It's like, and I was speaking to a buyer's agent yesterday and he's like, it's really quiet. I go, I know, there's not a lot of listings. Real estate agents are saying there's not a lot of listings. I reckon they're sandbagging a few of these deals to come out 1st of October. It's a strategy.
It could be because you're going to get a lot of demand. It's just naturally the tap is going to be turned on a specific date and there's going to be first home buyers in the marketplace that are able to acquire their first home as of October 1st that they can't today, right? Just because of the rules. The rules
Well,
change.
it's Queensland. Who's buying a house for under 700,000 in Queensland?
Yeah.
It's
Those
tough.
days are gone.
Yeah,
Those days are gone.
Done. You're done. You're done. You can buy a 1-bedroom apartment, maybe. It's cooked. But also, I also feel there's a bit of not enough people like Luke educating the first home buyer market and going through the first home buyer process in the current environment that you're in now. And this is why I always encourage people to listen to like the podcast Luke and I have done. Go join Luke's bloody Queensland first home buyers page because there's so much information.
So much good stuff.
They don't realise they just need to get the asset, the best quality asset that they can get for the price that they can afford in the market and the area right now. And then you've got to let time do its thing.
100%.
It's never been easier to lend for a first home buyer. It's just harder to buy. The lending part's easy.
It takes 5 years, right? Like buy your first property and in 5 years' time, you'll pay down the debt a little bit. The property will go up in value a little bit. Get your equity out. Buy the next home, maybe a bigger home if you're having a family, or buy an investment property. Like it's 5 years. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think there's that instant gratification I think with some of the first home buyers at the moment because that's the environment we live in. Oh, Instagram. That's telling me like I can do it today, and there's all this information, but it's half the shit's not even relevant to them, and they're just mopping it up, saying you can do 10 properties in 10 years. I'm like, yeah, but you only earn 70 grand a year. Like that's tough, and you've even got your first property, you don't even have a deposit. Let's just start with one, then work your way through. So I think that. Give it 5 years, I reckon Lukey's going to be fine. He'll have other problems, but that's that first home buy market, and because he's such a nice guy,
He's a gentleman.
He'll never lose the clients. Lovely, lovely fella, and also because the merger's got that back end infrastructure where we review your rates every 6 months. No one's going anywhere.
No one's going anywhere.
Why would you? Because the banks don't review your rates. A single broker will be very tough to review your rates every 6 months, but the team of brokers is what you need, or the team behind you. Because like you said, there's 22,000 brokers. I don't know whether you've got the stat, but on average, what's the average, I guess, settlements per year for like a broker?
I think your average settlements is 20 or 30 mil a year.
Yeah. Okay. And what's the percentage of brokers that actually do 20 to 30 mil a year?
I literally posted these stats on LinkedIn.
Did.
I can't remember exactly what it were, but it was majority of brokers would write under 50 mil a year. Do you know what I mean? But it's like any creative pursuit, right? Any creative pursuit that's competitive, the spoils go to the top 20%, they go to the top 2%, they go to the top 1%. It's just how it works, right? Any creative, competitive pursuit, the people at the top will take the lion's share of the spoils.
And what do they do differently than everyone else?
They do a few things differently. So I think the first thing that they do differently is that they get lots of leads, right? And I know I bang on about this all the time about the necessity for marketing and for lead getting and the ability to have predictable, scalable, profitable lead flow is the growth engine of a mortgage business. Because if you're doing $1 million a month, to get to $2 million a month, you need twice the amount of leads, right? To get to $5 million a month, you need 5x the amount of leads than you do at 1 mil. If you want to do 10 mil a month, you need 10x the amount of leads, right? And so there's this just scientific approach to it where if, 20 leads a month gets you 2 mil a month in settlements, you need 200 to get to 10, right? And the conversion rates might be different for different brokers, but they need volume, right? They need volume. So the brokers that write a lot of volume are really, really good at getting business in the door. And then the second thing is they're really, really good at getting business done, right? Whether they're an absolute expert and specialist in their niche, and then they've got the systems, and most importantly, they've got A players on their team, right? They've got support team, they've got credit, they've got guns that can help them not only deliver on the promise to the client with the home loan itself, but also do it in a manner where the client has a 5-star experience, becomes a raving fan, and then refers more business, comes back for repeat business. So it's that combination of being able to get shitloads of deals in the door and then nailing it once you've got a deal on your desk.
Yeah, and I think it's what they do very well is they build up that rapport where they are known, like, and trusted.
100%.
And with the credibility. And they just do it. They've just done it for so long. It'll be very hard for a new broker to write that sort of, that takes time. It's like when you buy a loan, like you said, it's 5 years before you see some equity and 5 years and realistically to see really big equity depending on the market, but in general, but it's pretty much the same for a mortgage broker when you're starting out brand new. There's some exceptions to the rules because it depends on the environment you put yourself into, but I just think that, you do have to go slow to go fast. And that's what I tell clients. Like, you can't just rush these things. Your portfolio is going to take time, but it's just like a broker needs to take time in building and honing their craft to be able to be that trusted advisor. Because I think that's what mortgages are moving. That's how I feel mortgages are moving to. What, 76% of the residential loans were written by a mortgage broker.
And it'll keep going, right? It'll get close to 100. Commercial loans, I still think it's only at 30%, so there's a lot of opportunity there. But it is a structurally better way of securing finance by going through a mortgage broker because they have access to multiple products, multiple policies, and they can execute on strategies by using different products and different policies, where a bank just does not have that freedom. They're limited by their own policies and their own products. So it's a structurally better way of getting finance.
Yeah, and I think if you want to get ahead, and I've said this on plenty of podcasts, one bank equals one policy, one product. One broker equals limited capacity. But when you've got a team, you're good to go. Like that opens up so much more capacity, so many more options, and so many more services that you wouldn't normally have. And I think the role of the broker in that trusted advisor space is getting more and more important. And I think, that if you go back to the beginning of the conversation around niching, that's where I think the value is really going to be added when a broker is so niched at what they do, is that you just already know whether it's a deal or not from a phone call. You don't need to run. That's where I'm at the moment. Like I know whether I should be taking a deal on or not from the phone call, just by asking the right questions, building the right rapport. Man, and I just have a conversation, Like it's just, I just want to get to know you. I don't, people come in and I think they've just worked with other brokers or with banks and stuff. And they just get all salesy. I hate selling. I don't sell. I ain't even talking about myself. It's pretty counterintuitive because I'm on a podcast, but it's I just like sharing knowledge and just really getting to understand someone. And what do you want to do? Tell me about what you want to do. Tell me a little bit about you. What are you actually stuck in, and what are some of the challenges that you have faced, are facing, or you think you're going to face in the future, so that I can determine whether we can work together or not, or I can actually help you. Because if I can, we'll talk about that later. But I just want to know if I can help you. And if I can't, I'll just kindly point you in the right direction. And that's it. There's no stress in that conversation. That's why I think I have pretty good, I can build trust and build that rapport quite easily, because I'm not there selling them anything. Let me listen like a therapist. I'm a mortgage therapist.
Dion, the mortgage therapist.
Hey, that's trademarked, copyrighted. You heard it first on this podcast. A mortgage therapist. We do sit on these lounges, so it's kind of like a therapy
I feel like I'm
session.
in a therapy session right now.
It is a therapy session. Mate, look, I guess looking at, looking at from a client's point of view, a customer point of view.
Yeah, a borrower.
Borrower, yeah. Yep. What advice would you give investors and professionals listening today when it comes to selecting the right broker?
Oh, work with a broker who's got a proven track record of delivering what you're after. Do you know what I mean? And it's not hard these days. You can go online. Do you know what I mean? There's so many brokers produce content, and work with a broker that is in your specific niche. And I know I'm banging on about it, but it's true. Do you know what I mean? Someone who's got an experience and a track record of being able to deliver the goods for what you're trying to achieve.
And that's really important, because they're going to get, like you said, come back to the beginning. If that broker's got the niche down packed, and they've got the systems, the processes, and the people in place to do that at speed and at scale and deliver the outcome that you're wanting to achieve. That's a fair
take, mate.
Fair take. And I think there's a lot of advertising going on. There's a lot of information. And I just think sometimes people do get confused as to like whether they should or shouldn't, because people sell people the sizzle, right? It's when it comes
marketing
down
101.
Yeah, it's when it comes to the outcome that counts. What? Because you tell us all the time, I think, with the way we display content, and I think it's very consistent from everyone. Like I've seen other people's, like, we're all mates on LinkedIn and Instagram and stuff like that. I'll tell you, there's no pushy sales pitch. You notice that? There's no sales pitch. It's just, hey, here's some information I'd like to share with you. This is why I think it's important.
And I love doing content like that, mate. It's all the content that I've produced, whenever I've done something online, whenever I've done a presentation, a workshop, I've attended an event, I never have a sell, right? It's add value, add value, add value, add value, add value, add value. And the second that you put the call to action or the sell in there, I think it does dilute from the value that you've added. Where I strongly believe that if you just put a shitload of value out into the universe, it will be reciprocated. And maybe that's why all the brokers in the crew are doing a content in a very similar way, where it's just like add as much value as you possibly can, and eventually you'll get the result.
Yeah, and I think then that value attracts the right client for your niche too, and that just targets it down even further. And I think doing the video stuff as opposed to, like, it depends on what platform, but on the Meta platform, let's call it Metaverse, I feel it quite resonates. Like, I'll look at other brokers and they'll catch me, like Tom Hawley's stuff is really good, because that's someone that's an aspirational, like he's the top broker, and he's written them, in volume wise, he's probably up there, right?
Well, he took out the award the other day at the Australian Broking Awards for Mortgage Broker of the Year. So
it's not a shameless plug. Yeah, I'm not saying that, but again, he's very niche. He doesn't see everyone. He's very niched in what he does. Very good at the investment side of things, and look, he does well. But his content's quite it's all a lot about questions people ask, and it's pretty much, we do the same sort of stuff as well. Like, what are we seeing? What are the questions? And I have a little notepad also at my desk, and it's like, oh, this question was asked by a client. So I write that down and see if I can make that into a piece of content, because especially if I get the same question 5 times, like, okay, we need to create that library. So that's why it's the reason why I have my social media, is that my library of information, I can refer people back to it a lot easier. No, yeah, I did a podcast on that. Here's the podcast. Go have a listen to it. It's free information. This is why I do the podcast. It's free. It's like, I just want to have. This is not. I get a lot of people going, "Oh, how many leads do you get from the podcast?" Like, none. I don't actually do it for the leads. It's like, I lie. I've got 1 lead from the podcast.
Yeah.
Shout out to Michael and Karen. And they literally just rung me and going, hey, mate, we've listened to your podcast. We really resonated with some of the stuff you said. And it's just easy to listen to. And there's no salesy, it's not nothing. You're just giving us information. We'd like to have a chat about our situation. I'm like, perfect. Matt, like, we just settled on their debts, like they paid their home loan off, all that. We just settled on that last Wednesday. They signed a contract the day after. They didn't tell me, but I already said you can just do this. Then we just approved their finance in 24 hours after that. So we practice what we preach, and can't do it for everyone, but they were prepared. And then I led them on to the right people. I said, oh, funnily enough, this is the buyer's agent I want you to speak to. Here are the 2 podcasts that he's done. Go have a listen. Oh, we've already listened to that. Like, oh, okay, what do you need me for? Like, you guys can write your own loans. But it just goes to show it's not about that. I actually, when you say about giving back to the universe, this podcast is about giving back, to businesses. Like, I have all the guests on. The guests are there for the client's information, education. But I'm also promoting you as a business.
Shameless plug, you reckon? Beep, beep.
Yeah. Well, I tell them to shameless plug. Actually, Jono from the Buyers Squad yesterday, his buyer's agent, came in with his orange hat on. I'm like, what are we, Donald Trumping now? Or like, MAGA? I said, make buyer's agents great again? You should have had that bloody thing on. But I don't care. You can come and shamelessly plug. I do. Look at the little thing on the bottom of the mic. It's the actual...
Look at that, mate. Look at
Luke,
that.
That's Luke from Umbrella Creators.
So good.
Handiwork.
So good.
I just think, creating that community. I think inadvertently I've actually created a community of free education, and you can come and talk to these people. They're safe. They're part of my trusted network without doing it. But even before I met you, like I was doing this for a year. But I guess, circling back, what are your top 3 tips, right, for looking at, I want to build a portfolio, I want to get some property. What are your top 3 tips for brokers or clients to help?
All right, so clients looking to build a property portfolio. First of all, it's got to be, talk to a broker who's got a proven track record of helping property investors build property portfolios. Second would probably be buying the best asset that you can afford. And third would be the more money that you earn, the more property you're going to be able to buy. And nearly no one says that, but that's the truth of it.
Don't think that you're going to get passive income in 5 years. Passive income is great, but that's the end goal 20 years down the bloody track. It's not a 5-year plan.
No.
I hear it all the time. It gives me the shits. Like, stop. Let's just work on getting you the best. Don't stop working. How are you going to afford all these loans if you stop working? So brokers, top 3 tips for a broker to help them, I guess, figure out what their niche is.
Top 3 tips for figuring out what a broker's niche is. Number 1 would be working in an area and with people that you're passionate about, right? If the business works, you're going to be having a lot of the same conversations over and over again each and every single day. So it's going to be much more longevity in it if you enjoy what you're talking about and who you're talking to. Number 2 is deciding where we have an actual real competitive edge, where there's something about what we do or how we do it that is better than other brokers in the marketplace where we can compete and win. And third is by picking a demographic that we can market to. Because if we can't market to a niche, it's not a niche. They're my top 3 tips.
It's very interesting. I think a lot of clients and brokers will get a lot of good value out of this because it's quite, and even actually, I'm even going to go one step further. It doesn't matter if you're in the mortgage industry or not. I reckon if you're just in general business, like it makes sense. Like if you use the same framework, it's the same framework.
It's the same. I use it in my business.
Yeah.
Like it's very specific.
Yeah.
I help mortgage brokers build valuable businesses. So what's that mean? A, you're a mortgage broker. B, you're in business. Like, and you can apply a niche to anything.
Yeah, exactly. So how does one get a hold of you if you are a mortgage broker that needs a business coach or doesn't know that they need a business coach or wants to have a conversation about that?
I reckon the best thing would be go check me out on any of the social media channels. Sam Panetta, broker coach. There's heaps of value in there. There's heaps people would be able to learn without even needing to talk to me. So that's where I'd go. I'd probably start on any of my social media channels.
Yep, cool. And all your links are in there.
The website's on there. The website's on there. But there's heaps of content. I try to do.
You filmed like 200 pieces of content the other day. Was it 200?
It was. So I'd done 3 hours of filming. It was 38 videos, and then they'll go on 8 platforms, and then they'll be turned into written copy for 4 platforms. So there's circa 400 pieces of content that would have come out of that 3-hour sitting.
Yeah.
Having a team, mate. Having people that back you.
Yeah, exactly. And it works.
It works.
Because I think every day we get someone new in the chat group. I think I need to just have a quick bloody welcome button. I just need my welcome GIF just straight in there. But it's good. It just goes to show that you're adding value to someone.
Adding value. I think there's 2 thoughts on that. Number one, I think the more people that are in the community that are keen and on the same path and wanting to achieve, I think the more valuable the community becomes, right? So there's that. And I think the second thing is, if I was one of my clients, I would want to see me walk the walk and not just talk the talk. I probably wouldn't want to have a business coach that wasn't very good at running a business. Do you know what I mean? So the proof's sort of in the pudding. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It's like, I'm just telling you how to run your business, but I'm running at a loss. I actually don't even know how to record a piece of content.
So I'm trying to walk the walk. Yeah.
What are captions? What's CapCut? Yeah, anyway, no, all good. Look, thanks, mate, so much for your time.
Pleasure.
I know we've got a long lunch in about another hour, so we won't keep us too long. But as always, the information on this podcast is very general in nature. Doesn't take into consideration your personal circumstances. If you want to broker coach, if you're in the mortgage broking industry and you want to figure out whether you need a coach or on the fence about that, firstly, just jump onto Sam's socials. Really, really easy. You can figure out whether it's the right fit or not, have a conversation. It's all what it starts with. If you need anything in relation to finance, come and see me. I'm on Instagram at Dion Finance Specialist, on LinkedIn, Dion Fernandez. And this podcast also got its own website, www.financespropertythat.com.au. Mate, thank you again. Looking forward to coconut mugs. And everyone else, we'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.